live.
We live? Are we alive?
Yes. It's immediately a much better picture.
Yeah.
Would you like to see what the frame looks like?
Yes, please.
Right,
Yes,
well,
please.
just look at your cameras. Look at your cameras. No, look at your cameras, Charlotte. Where's your camera?
There.
Right, here we go. Hang on a sec. Oh, sorry, there's a delay. Let me keep looking. Here we go.
Yo, that's cool.
Yeah, it is cool. Now you be cool.
I am cool, really.
Just $9.99. You can be cool.
I'm just going to turn the volume up. It'll echo for a bit. I just want to hear that it's okay. Yeah, it is cool. Nice. Everyone ready?
Yes. What?
Lovely. It's just good, isn't it?
You have it right there, so you can
I know,
see
it's
the
just
chat.
weird. Welcome to another episode of Every Tenday where a dad, that's me, plays D&D with his kids.
Yalla!
That's us.
Yes,
Mm-hmm.
that is us.
Before we commence today's shenanigans and adventure, a few little shout outs. Firstly to our man DJ at Sketch Goblin, who did all the art, all the cover art for our podcast, and a lot of when we post episodes on Instagram, you'll see we use his art, his character illustrations, which are amazing. We love him.
Yes.
Check out sketchgoblin.co.nz because he's based down in New Zealand. He's amazing. We love him. For the whole campaign, he has done the art. Yeah, have I said we love him? We love him. Next up, do we want to talk about the spellbooks? Which
Yes,
I think
we
we've
do.
got. Show them to your cameras.
Oh, this is weird.
Nice and slowly. Move nice and slowly with your hands. These are from Guiland Design. These are the sketchbooks we've been... not the sketchbooks, the spellbooks we've been using for a while now. I think for at least 2 years, right?
Yeah.
So if you've got the Gale Force 9 cards, you know, the character cards, the spell cards, these fit really great in these spellbooks. We don't get paid for recommending Guiland Design's spellbooks.
We just love them.
We just love them. We just freaking love them. It's that simple. So what we're going to do is recommend that you check them out, Guiland Design. And then finally, who else do we love?
There's one more
Guiland
person that we
Design,
usually...
DJ.
Where you need to talk about the Discord
Discord,
server.
that's
Go,
it.
talk. You've got your camera now.
So,
Finley.
we've got a Discord server. So basically what that is it's a place, it's like this chat, and you can come and you can talk to us, you can get notified when we're streaming, get notified about announcements that we have, and you can just talk directly to us and all the other people there. I think we've got like
Quite a few
people there now.
So come talk with us.
It's free. All you need to do is click the link in the description of the video when this goes, when the live ends, or in the comments when the live ends. We also have the link in the podcast description, right?
The bio, yeah.
And
Visit us on Instagram every 10 day.
Yep.
And we've got the link in our bio there as well.
Yeah.
Come hang out, come talk to us. We'll probably create a short URL so you can find the Discord easier at some point. So it'll be like every10day.com/Discord or something like that. We haven't got that yet. We will be sorting our lives out a little bit. So after the game we will be going on there and chatting about the game. Let us know what you think. What did we do well? What did we screw up? What rules did we get wrong? Which rules did we get right but that we hate, come talk to us. We love knowing what you think about it. Yeah, crazy stuff. Just another very quick announcement that I did a video on YouTube the other day just to let you know that we are kind of up-leveling gradually rather than doing a big one all at once. We're doing some very gradual up-leveling of things like our stream. So this hopefully, we hope that you like the look of this better than we have done previous streams where we've been having cameras in the wrong places and stuff like that. With a view to Campaign 2 is coming already.
Yes!
I know it's probably not the done thing to start talking about Campaign 2 until Campaign 1 is over, but it is coming. It's that simple. We've probably got about another... I mean, we're looking to wrap this up or start to wrap this up after about 3 years, and that's coming soon. So coming in January, that'll be 3 years. So we're guesstimating that somewhere around January, February, Campaign 1 will be wrapping up, Campaign 2 will be hot on its heels, and we just want to get ready for it so that we can bring it to you from episode 1, episode 0 in fact onwards. So look out for that. Please leave your comments in the chat box as we go through this. Fortunately, we're not huge. We're not a massive D&D channel with tens and tens of thousands of followers or anything like that. So if you leave a comment, we can say hi. We can reply to it if you've got questions, stuff like that. We love being small at the moment, at least, and we have no plans to do anything but stay that way for the time being. And whether you're a young adventurer getting into this game, or you're a parent like me looking to do something a little bit more than just play video games with your kids, or hang around and watch films, which can be fun, but certainly this game has brought us all closer, just as it did me and my brother when I was 10, so we hope it does the same for you. All right, that's said and done. Let's get into where we last left off in the adventure. Arriving through an arcane gate into the easternmost region of the continent of Horizon, a region known as Karatur. Dunaya, Elowin, and Kilgar, you stepped forward into a humid, richly exotic landscape. Bamboo forests and magnificent mountain ranges and sunsets. This land immediately brought with it a colour and a vibrancy, even in the people that you immediately interacted with. And a guide took you through the bamboo forest to the entrance to the very base of the Ninja Mountain, the mountain of the monks dedicated to the way of shadows and the way of the tiger. And you find yourselves now at the base of this lone mountain, jutting out on a peninsula far into this great ocean, this great inland sea. And a fog has surrounded you as you walk closer and closer to the base of the mountain. A single peak amongst bamboo forests and lush vegetation. And after several hours' walk, you encountered a great bronze gate. Several gates, in fact, but the second being a great bronze gate. Try saying that 3 times. It's a great bronze gate. And on walking underneath the gate, through the gate, this first passageway, this first point, if you like, this first flag post on the way up the mountain, a funny feeling took over you both. You felt yourself transported, not just in intellect and emotion, but in your very essence of your being. And for just a moment, like when you wake from a dream and try desperately to cling on to the memory of that dream, only for it to fade quickly, faster the more you try and cling on to it, your sense of identity escaped you. And you found yourself transferred at the last moment of recognition into each other's bodies and consciousness. Swapped, if you like. And just at the moment where you're aware of it, it was gone. And you stand completely normal and aware. But in a flashing moment, almost like a download, like a cascade, an overwhelming cascade, like standing at the base of an enormous waterfall. Memories upon memories bombard into your consciousness of the other. And so, Danae, will you please explain to Elowin just some of the moments, some of the things that he might have seen in those early days, because your consciousness, Elowin, finds itself on a ship and you are young and you are running and you are aware of yourself falling and tripping onto the timber of this wooden deck as a salty sea spray cascades across your face. And after that, multiple images start to come, and maybe you could take a few moments, Danae, to explain to Elowin some of what he sees, just some of those key moments he sees of what it was to be Elowin before he became an adventurer.
You see, like, fishing, and you catch you catch like a fish, and you can see you being at your tower, and you're at your tower, and your parents have just dropped you off in Curse City, and you're going back to Lermir's tower on a carriage, and you can see you sneaking a peek through the door and seeing what Lermir is researching before running back down the stairs to your quarters. And that's just
Then it's books upon study. What was Lermir like as a master? Was he strict and cruel?
He was strict, but he definitely didn't. He was fine with. He was like a father figure to you. He was strict, but he was kind at some points.
You're guided, you see yourself guided by a warm but firm hand in your studies. You find yourself researching almost like these formulas for how to extract and evoke out of thin air these arcane powers. And you recall when these formulas went from gobbledygook on a page to suddenly making sense. Like the first time as a child that you read a word for the very first time and you understand a word on a page, not just what it says but what it means. And you recall those moments of clarity as arcane study begins to make sense to you. Are there any other details you want to add today?
I don't think so.
Okay. Likewise, as this cascade of memories comes of study upon endless study, of warmth, compassion, being guided by a wise and discerning master. There would be momentary visits that break up these long periods of study, visits from your parents who come and embrace you, and how you would look forward to these times. That they would take you out in the streets of Curtin, sometimes for several days at a time, as they stayed in town to trade. You might even go to stay with them at the tavern now and then. But sometimes those promised visits wouldn't come. And so, in spite of all the warmth and compassion you had around you, recalling conversations with your parents as you got older about how a life on the sea was no life for you, and that you were made for greater things, and that your keen mind, you recall moments with your mother, private moments with your mother, from whom you get the cascading white hair, looking at you with sharp, brilliant eyes, saying that you were touched by the far realm, son. You're meant for more than trading on boats. Moments like that occur to you, again, one after the other. the life of a trader is not a regular life, and so whilst you would look forward to their visits, you could never depend on those visits. And so you also, as well as having this welcoming warmth and being held in the living environments that you're in, there were long periods of loneliness. As a young boy and an older man, well, there's only so far the conversation can go. And because your study took up so much of your day, the loneliness meant that you, and the demands of the study meant that you missed out on much of the playtime that many other children had together, making friends and forming friendships. And so you get memories of starting to be teased by some of the other kids, as you didn't quite understand play and social interaction the same way other children did. So when you did go out and start to play, oftentimes you would say mean things without meaning to, or you would make jokes that others wouldn't understand. And so as a result of that, you buried yourself back in study. And perhaps it was some of that feeling of loneliness, or maybe even anger that the other children didn't understand you, that you poured into the study of magic instead. It's around then also you get flashes of memories of seeing the future. They start very rarely to begin with, maybe only a couple of times every year. But you get the distinct memory of the first time waking from a dream, and whilst you're still in that middling state, that liminal place between sleep and wakefulness, you get a flash of your master stubbing his toe and hopping around and cursing you, and when you laugh at him, he throws a scroll case at you. And you go, oh, it must just be a dream. And you get a full flash of leaving the tower, going downstairs, only for that very thing you just saw to happen. And it was something you tried to explain to your master, but he didn't quite understand you. After that, you found that kind of thing happening more and more, to the point where you could start to make different decisions based on that vision. Again, maybe only a couple of times a year. Maybe it would be going to the market in Old Town and sneaking an apple off a cart because you had a flash just moments before of the apple keeper looking away briefly, and you saw yourself grabbing it, and you're like, did I just do that? And then you saw him look away, and you take the apple and get away with it. All of these memories, all of this study, you recall the first day that a cantrip comes to you easily, effortlessly. Outside in the courtyard of the tower, summoning flames to your hands. And you remember Lermir nodding in more than just the regular approval, but actually seeing a kind of an enhanced fire coming from you, and a certain aptitude for fire that impressed him. And you remember the feeling of what it felt like to get that approval. You never had it from friends. You never got into competitions with friends over strength or dexterity or anything like that, or even wit and cunning. But to have that approval from your master only drove you on harder in your studies. All of these memories come cascading in, until one day, older now, able to perform the arcane strenuousness of the arcane symbols necessary for a first level magic, your master calls you into his study. And he says, I need troll blood. Edwin, troll blood. We need it for components. Plus bring me back whatever else you can find. But go, get out of here. Come on, off you go. Take this staff. It's served me very well. It'll light up at my command. The word is Shirak, and you will have light, my boy. Now, take the staff, speak to Delhi, get some rations, and bugger off. I don't want to see you before Tenday is out, my boy. But as you leave, slightly confused of this sudden tearing away from your studies, he goes, wait. You turn, you look back at him. He says, be careful, Elwyn. Be careful out there. You shut the door. Unused to such open displays of concern from your master on anything other than study, you leave the tower. And that's where the cascade of memories ends for you. Elwyn Lancaster. Elwyn Ashdye. Separated from his travelling parents and a long way from his real homeland, you go out into the world. The bloody scythe looks like a good stop off first. In the last moments, Danae, before you become fully aware of yourself, you get a cascade similarly of emotions, memories, moments. They start with your small, tiny, white feet running through tall, luscious grass. And ahead of you is a beautiful, timbered, new manor house, freshly built from, you don't know. Your parents seem to always be working on something or other, usually in private, in that room that you're not allowed in the mansion. But it seems your family has just come into some money, and the new mansion, oh man, is it fun. And you chase the blonde hair ahead of you of a slightly older sister. Maybe she's 5 years old now, 6 years old. You can't be more than about, what would Danae be if 8 was 5 or 6?
About 4.
Yeah. Maybe you could take a few moments, Elwyn, to explain and describe to Danae maybe some of the cascade of emotions and memories that come to her.
Okay, so you remember parents? They were away a lot, but they always found time to play with you and your older sister, whom you adored. You and her were inseparable. You do almost everything together. And you remember trips to the lakeside and skipping stones with your family. How far am I going?
Similarly as to what I do with
Okay.
Elwyn. Just whatever comes to mind.
And it was peaceful for a long time until it wasn't very peaceful anymore. And you remember fire, and you don't remember too much, but you remember fire, and you remember your uncle.
May I pick up that?
Yes.
The fire is more a set of feelings than a visual memory. Oh, you remember the screams of some of the housekeepers and the desperate work that many of the people that kept house did to try and bring the fire under control. But to no avail. You remember going to the window, your small white hands banging against the panes of glass, thin little panes with lead splitting them up into multiple squares, and you remember particularly your hand going through and knocking out one of the panes of glass so that the rush of heat and the cold night air met in a weird kind of woomph, and your hand went through. You recall cutting yourself on a shard of the remaining glass and blood dripping down onto the window. You remember the smoke. You remember choking back tears that could barely come because of the suffocating smoke. But you also remember looking out into the darkness beyond the house. And perhaps it was because that night the flames lit the surrounding grassland and forest better. But you notice and you remember 5 hunched figures. 5 hunched figures. 50, 60, maybe 70 feet, who knows? At this age you couldn't recall. But at the very edge of the forest that led to the clearing upon which this new house had been built, you remember noticing, lit by the fire, menacing, horrific, 5 large hunched figures. Massive, literal hunched backs coming into long, vulture-like necks, wicked bird-like faces, robes hanging off their body in layer after layer, each one of them holding a cruelly twisting staff and looking up with almost demonic flickering eyes at the house burns. And stepping back from the window in fear, you gasp and choke, come back to the window to scream through again, only for those figures to have gone. You recall darkness and heat and being lifted by strong arms to safety. You remember screaming over and over and over, Atea, 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 until you screamed so much you'd pass out, only to come around, woken, brought back to consciousness by your own sobs. Day after day, you would scream and cry for your sister. Then you remember running through forests, running through bracken, thorns cutting your flesh as you were pulled beyond the boundaries of your own muscles to keep up, till finally you were carried again by strong arms, resting at the side of the road at night, shivering under blankets, not from the cold, but from the trauma. You're not sure how much time passes, but you get flashes of a small, welcoming woodland village. Still confusion and loneliness. Where is your sister? You don't know. You get a flash of 2 kindly faces. The faces of Merrow and Freth. The face of Merrow wrinkling in a kind, comforting smile, and the memory of, oh my dear, my poor dear. And then the many nights thereafter of sobbing yourself to sleep in the arms of this wonderfully caring stranger who nurses you, who feeds you, who clothes you and washes you and keeps you safe. And eventually, very slowly, but eventually, you begin to find some solace in this new life. Something about the past begins to fade off into the distance, fade way off into the distance, until the events of the fire no longer occupy your mind. What occupies your mind is fighting with the local children of this small village, woodland village, winning almost every fight. you find yourself angry a lot of the time, such that your adoptive parents often spend their evenings chastising you, not punishing you, but chastising you for your anger. But nevertheless, it's something almost like a companion of yours that you cannot escape, and you use it mainly in fights and pranks with the other kids of this woodland village, proving that you're stronger than them, and in most cases you are, and in the cases where you're not stronger than them, your anger and your rage only fuel you to beat them by whatever means necessary. There's a brief memory of sitting on your bed with Mero and Freth and several soldiers dressed in white, their shining armour beguiling your sensibilities and entrancing you. Their strong swords and their thick metal armour to you looks powerful. It looks safe, and it's safe that you want to be and powerful that you want to be. They look at you firmly, but not without a degree of kindness. And you get memories of a wagon ride north into a large castle, a huge keep set upon a steep hill clustered with buildings. And then you get cascades of memories, training, being laughed at by the other mostly male soldiers, laughed at, picked on and teased. And what follows is a cascade of memories of year after year being knocked down, beaten, not by any punitive measures, not beaten by punishment, but beaten in combat prowess. Memories of being given your first longsword, something that you could barely lift. Hitting a straw-filled dummy, making barely a mark. Being laughed at again and again by the soldiers, the multitude of soldiers that call the keep their home and their outpost, their station. You recall the kind eyes of the lord of the keep as he sits you down in a cold but bounteous banquet hall, eating your first roast pheasant, having a full plate of vegetables and course after course of exquisite food. And you recall his kindly manner as he takes you down to the bowels of the keep and shows you a statue, a great platinum statue of a dragon, and speaks to you of anger and of justice. And you get flashes of conversation. Maybe the first person who understands that your anger isn't wrong, but that it can be channeled. That you can use your anger to make things right. And as he asks you if this is something you'd like to do, you get a flash of your young head nodding in agreement. What follows is a cascade of memories of having lesson after lesson with the Lord and the priests of the keep about the nature of justice and how anger never comes from nowhere. Anger comes from wrongdoing, and wrongdoing can be made right, whether by word, deed, or sword. And this you like. This sits well with you. It sits really well with you. And you begin to use the platinum statue of this mighty dragon almost as your journal. You will come down to the statue and talk with the statue. Memories of sitting, legs swinging, just talking to the statue. Maybe you heard a story about an unfairness in the city. Maybe it's to the statue is the first thing that you begin to talk about some something lost in your memory, and how it makes you angry and how you wish you could remember. And you make promises to the statue that you will fight evil and that you will listen to your anger, for anger speaks of wrongdoing. And the years pass, and you train harder and harder than anybody. The laughter begins to subside till one day, you're not sure how long it's gone, nobody laughs at you anymore. The main reason is because you have any soldier that trains with you, that spars with you, on their arse pretty damn quickly. Sword pointed to throat, and the smirk on your face, well, it speaks for your power, for your control, for your discipline, and for your righteousness. One day you are called in to speak with Lord Belladon, who informs you that it is time, after years of training, to go out into the world. At first you are shocked and inside a little bit scared. You've come to so depend upon the routine of the soldier's life, to rely on this safety. These stone walls are more than just stone walls that surround you. They are stone walls that you've been able to put up around your heart to protect you from whatever that thing that you can't remember happened to you. And so your first fear is anxiety. Your first thought is anxiety as you are told that the time is right for you to venture beyond the walls of the town, to venture north through Old Town. And suddenly, instead of your day coming to you from orders and instruction, it is for you to find your own order, your own instruction. And incredibly wary, but putting up a bold face, a stern, stony visage to hide your fear from the rest of the world, and to cloak it instead with your anger, you leave the keep, you leave Fort Summerdusk and head north. With a small pouch of gold, with a sword and some armour and some kit for the road, you figure a quick stop off in Old Town might be just the thing in order. And that's where your cascade of memory and emotion ends, Denea. And with that, whoosh, you find yourselves, both of you, back on the mountain. Shaken suddenly, but knowing yourself, Elwyn, knowing yourself, Denea, knowing who you are, knowing why you're here, knowing everything that you know, you realise exactly who you are, where you are, and why you're here. You must get to the top of this mountain. You must consult with this mysterious, legendary monk. You must. Otherwise, put all your faith in a wizard of questionable moral and his one-way magic solution. There is a stone with temporal abilities that will allow you to seemingly navigate the corridors of time. That is all that you know. There is a path that stretches ahead of you. The mist clears somewhat, and in the direction you stand you see far out to sea as this path winds ahead and then seems to wind all the way round the mountain. What would you like to do?
I'm going to start walking up the path.
Yeah, me too. I'm just gonna turn to Nair and just... Ellen...
Do we see each other?
No, yeah, you're right there, the two of you.
Oh.
Is what...
Kilgar is not there.
Oh.
Are they behind the gate?
You cannot see Kilgar.
Is anyone else here?
Just the two of you. And somehow, in your hearts, you feel fine with the fact that Kilgar's not there. You can't explain it. You just accept.
He wasn't the only one that came with us.
That's true.
Should we get going then?
Well, no one else. Yes, I think the challenges have begun now.
Well, let's go then.
Okay.
Oh, we're gonna start walking up the
Alright,
path.
you start walking. It is a fresh day in this part of Karatur. A clear sky. Here and there you hear hawks circling above, crying out their cries. And as you walk along the path, you notice that this path may be 5 foot wide. You're able to walk side by side, just about, before it cascades into foliage to the right and climbs steeply to the left. You walk for several hours. And it is a long, very gradually winding path round to your left. You realise that you are circling the easternmost edge of this mountain. And it is long, and it goes on, and on, and on. An hour passes, 2 hours, 3, and it is quiet. Very quiet. I'd like perception checks from you both, please.
Oh, nice.
I'm not used to a character sheet.
24.
23. Did you already roll portents?
You think you're being followed.
Oh.
Here and there, as you look around and look back, you see flashes of white that quickly become concealed behind bamboo foliage and other various vegetation either side of the path. But you see flashes of white nonetheless. Is there anything you'd like to do?
I'm gonna draw
Did
my
you-
sword.
Okay. And you're drawing Celeste?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Can I roll my portents for the day?
I think
Sure,
they've already
go
been
ahead.
rolled.
We'll just roll again.
It
for,
looks like
Oh,
they've been.
okay.
roll it again anyway.
Whoa,
just
whoa,
for-
whoa, whoa.
For
It's
fun.
in pencil. Oh, wait, no, that's a rubber.
Just roll again
Sorry.
just for fun.
Okay. 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 Cool.
Alright.
Yeah.
Okay, you draw your sword. Are you doing anything?
No, I'm not going to do anything.
Okay. You continue to walk?
Yes.
Alright. The day presses on. Danae, will you go ahead and roll a d12 for me, please?
D12. 5.
Okay, good. Good to know. The day presses on. I assume you stop for some light refreshment at some point during the day?
Refreshment.
Have you seen?
Yeah. Something's definitely following us.
Yeah.
I'll keep my sword out, just in case.
Alright. You're continuing on the path?
Yes.
You continue on the path, walking for hour after hour, barely gaining any altitude as you go up this mountain. For such a large mountain to have a path that it goes around the circumference of it all the way to the top would be dozens of miles, dozens and dozens and dozens, if not 100 miles or more to get to the very top. You're not sure how many miles you've done, but as the sun begins to set that day, behind you, very quickly putting shadow across the mountain, you guess that maybe you've laid down 12, 15 miles, surely.
Elwyn, why don't we just go up the mountain, just up the slope? We don't need to go around it. Up
We can
it.
go off the path.
Yes.
Can I look up? Is it like off the path? Is it just bamboo? Is it just thick bamboo?
It's a mixture of vegetation here. I mean, as you look all the way up the mountain, obviously as it gets higher up, it's like Kilimanjaro. It gets almost rocky and moon-like in terms. It's a very tall mountain.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah, the vegetation is mainly around the base of the mountain for sure.
I mean, we could. I have a carpet.
Yeah. You could just. I've seen you walk on walls before. You could just walk up.
Yeah. What about you?
I will summon Apollo.
Okay.
Wait, is Apollo already summoned? We had. Oh wait, no,
I think
you
he
dismissed it. You just.
Well, I got off of him and then we went through the gate, but I'm pretty sure he disappeared
Yeah,
after that.
I think you dismissed him before we went to the gate.
Okay.
To be honest. So I'm going to try and summon Apollo.
Okay.
As we lay down because it's dark.
So you're going to do that in the evening, so he's already there and with you. Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. You take the time to, well, how does Apollo come? How do you do it? Maybe you
How
can
do I
describe
do it?
what happens.
Okay, so, I mean, you'll sit down and you'll probably draw or, like, create glowing sigils all around you. And then you'll stand up, step out of it, and he will walk through the circle on the ground.
Nice.
Okay.
Wow.
As you do so, the sigils relating to Palladius glow with this bright, starlit, golden shine. And then, as normally happens, a rift is created, and as Apollo normally flies through, it's like he's galloping from far away into the space occupied by the circle, the glyph circle. Only this time, the rift opens, and a giant white paw steps through. Enormous, furred, white paw with black stripes down it. And coming through this kind of celestial portal instead steps an enormous, muscled, white tiger. And just curls up in the sigils.
I didn't mean to do that.
Oh,
I don't know how that.
I've never seen
That
that
doesn't
before.
normally happen.
Are you okay?
Hello, kitty. And I go over and kind of just like.
As you go to touch it. And it flashes with surprisingly intelligent eyes for the creature it
You
represents.
make a hostile creature.
Don't think it's under my control.
Can't you, like, talk to it?
Do a spin.
I do not spin for those undertaking the trials.
Who are you?
You may simply call me the Guardian.
Did you
Was the
summon
fourth
guy?
level spell? Was the fourth level spell slot consumed?
No.
Oh, okay, nice.
You got some... Okay.
Well, can we not? Do we have to take the path around the mountains? Does this mean?
If you wish to succeed at the trials, you must walk the path.
Okay. Well,
This thing is enormous, its head, maybe 3 feet across. It's massive, glistening teeth. It is beautiful and formidable. And it lies in front of you, looking at you both, calmly like prey, backwards and forwards, looking at you both. But there is a kindliness deep within its eyes as it looks at you.
Okay.
okay.
We'll just stay on the path then?
Yes.
3 trials lay before you. These trials will test your mind, your body, and your spirit. You must pass all 3 for entrance to be granted. You may ask me one question.
What do we want to ask it?
Each.
I mean, you're the smart one, so. I'll go first. How do we pass the first trial?
Mortals think upwards and downwards. Sometimes you must think sideways. Such is the spirit and endurance of the ninja. The ability to think sideways. Final question.
How do we pass the second trial? I get 2 clues.
The second trial. You will pass through precision, power, guile, and everything that has gotten you here so far. Good luck, mortals. I will be watching. The tiger just seems to slowly evaporate into a golden glitter that floats away in the rapidly setting sun.
So can you not like summon
What do
anything?
You can do whatever you like, but if you want to pass the trials, you'll stick to the path. That's
Get
what was
powered.
said. That was what was said, so bear it in
Okay,
mind.
well, I guess we'll just.
What time of day is it?
You can.
Setting sun. It's getting towards
You
evening.
wanna,
You've been
like,
walking
You can
all
do the
day.
exact time with your stuff. You just know it.
Yeah.
You've been walking all day.
Okay, I'm gonna cast Magnificent Mansion to sleep in.
Really?
I mean, I can cast. Do we want to sleep out?
I think we should just keep going through the night.
Okay, if you want to do that.
Okay. Well, yes. We'll.
Wait, do I have all my spell slots?
You haven't taken a long rest yet, have you?
So I've got the same as when he was.
Yeah.
I mean, like I don't have a lot of. I have a lot of spell slots. We can keep going.
Okay.
What about you?
I'm fine. That
You
didn't.
don't want to
seem
take a long rest?
I kind of want to take. What about hit points? Oh, I need to replenish hit points.
Well, let's do Lehman's.
Okay,
sphere
I'm gonna
thing.
cast Lemon's Tiny Hurt.
On the path?
No. Well, I'll cast it just on the side of the path. No, we have to stay on the path. Wait, do we?
Yeah. He said stick to the path.
Okay, I'm gonna cast it on the path.
Okay. So you set your camp right on the pathway. At points it verges out into like 10 feet wide, and sometimes it becomes narrower, even to the point where you have to go single file. But for the most part, you find an area that is 10 foot roughly in diameter, and you cast Lehman's Tiny Hut, within which you could, the temperature is nice, and you're able to find. Are you bedding down for a long rest?
Yeah.
Yes.
8 hours.
Right, you take a long rest.
I don't know what level Lemon's Tiny Hurt is.
3rd is, but you got all your spell slots back, so you don't need to really mark it up.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
You're woken by the breeze that accompanies the disappearance of the dome. 8 hours having passed, an early morning that it is. The sun rising to the east of you, across the ocean, reflected like a burning ember in the waters as it rises into the sun, into the sky. Excuse me. What are you doing?
I'm just
Second
keep
day.
walking.
Let's keep walking.
I'm gonna sit on my carpet and float
I
on the
need
path.
to prepare my spells.
You sit on your carpet any
Yeah,
moment
prepare your
possible.
spells.
Yeah.
23 spells to prepare.
Okay.
Okay.
Wait,
Take
for
them.
me?
No.
I don't have 23 spells.
No, you've got as many as you have slots.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,
So take the time to prepare them.
15.
Okay. Wait, 23 did you say?
Yep.
Well, it should say them.
Oh yeah.
23.
Okay, give me a second.
Oh, sorry, 24 actually now.
Okay.
24. Okay. One, two, three, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Don't know what that is, but it sounds cool.
Me too. Uh, 22, 23.
That should be fine.
When?
So, aura of purity. Let me just look that up.
Oh. Okay, I got mine.
Happy?
Yeah.
Alright.
I think.
Aura of purity.
Oh, I've never had that many spells before.
Purity, each one. That's terrible.
Actually,
bless.
this might be helpful here.
Okay.
Okay, got it.
Alright?
Yeah.
Good.
Look, I wore round glasses for a long time.
And what are you doing? You continuing along
Yeah.
the path?
Yep.
I'm sitting on my carpet floating along the path.
Are you?
Yeah.
Okay. As you get on your magic carpet and begin to go along, make a Constitution saving throw.
Okay. Oh no, hang on. Okay. 8.
A wave of intense nausea and dizziness, and your vision becomes broken, and then suddenly you feel yourself being tumbled over and over and over and over again. Tenday, you see Elwyn roll up his carpet, it floating in the air, and he get on it, and as soon as he gets on it, he starts to like his vision doesn't, it's almost like he looks like when you disintegrate somebody, he doesn't look quite there. Then he vanishes from next to you. You find yourself dumped out, dust going everywhere. The bronze gates high over you.
I grab the carpet and I wrap it up and just.
The carpet's gone.
What?
You are dumped with the carpet back at the bronze gates.
Okay.
Take out the
A day of travel behind.
little rock thing.
Oh yeah.
Elwyn,
Yes.
where are you?
I'm at the gates.
Oh, you absolute.
The tiger guy didn't say we can use magic items.
Can't use magic items.
Well, I assume so. I was just trying to steal my carpet. I always steal my carpet. I'm like a day behind you now.
Well, let me try and. Well, I'm just gonna.
I feel like every magic is unpredictable. Like, you tried to summon Apollo, you summoned a tiger, I tried to sit on the carpet, I fell down the mountain.
Well, should I come back to join you?
I mean, you can, or you can wait there for me.
I'm not waiting here.
Okay, well then why don't we meet in the middle?
No, I'm not.
No, like you walk and I walk and then we meet and then we walk.
How about we just keep going, and then you tell me, you stay on the line, and you tell me if anything happens.
What's the range of that?
It's like 1,000 feet.
Oh no, you can't hear speak to each other.
What?
Okay,
Ah.
I'm cast sending.
This is
Um.
alright. Take off the 3rd level spell slot then, and you've got 25 words.
I'm at the gates. Yeah. You can wait, you can meet me, or you can keep going. I'm gonna start again.
You arsehole. You shouldn't have used that carpet. I'm gonna keep going. Tell me if anything happens. Idiot.
What that mean to you?
And I'm just gonna keep going.
Oh, just go.
You're gonna start again?
Yeah.
Okay. You're just travelling on foot at normal speed?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Alright, you start down the path that you did this time yesterday. Again.
It's like
feeling
snakes and ladders.
very confused. Yeah, you just got chucked down a snake. That's for
Yeah.
sure. Roll an intelligence check.
Okay. Oh, come on. What's my dice?
Switch dice. That's why I
9.
Okay, good to know.
told you not to use that dice.
Denea. Several hours of walking pass as you walk the path up until noon. The sun, bright and high above you, starts to make you sweat somewhat, especially in your full armour. Although your armour is magically lighter, it's a hot and humid day. And it's very, very bright. And as the afternoon passes, the path widens somewhat until here and there, until it's maybe 30, 40, 50 feet wide, until here and there you notice big blocks of some ancient structure, maybe a column from an old archway that would have been here, or you're not quite sure. But here and there, great ruined blocks, chunks of stone have fallen. And as you navigate this area for several miles, there's this ruins, stone and stuff. You come round a bend from getting around this large carved granite looking stone, and off some distance ahead, shining brighter than the noonday sun, sitting upon one of these blocks is a very familiar, formidable, foreboding celestial creature. Glint sits upon the block, bow in hand, enormous long bow, maybe 10 foot long in hand, and he looks to be tying the strings off tighter on this bow as if it needed it. He is some 60 feet away from you. I was wondering how long it would take you to get here.
I'm not going to respond.
He stands up, puts the bow, fixes it to his back. Beaten iron chest plate, still glowing with celestial light. Tousled brown hair, shot through with white on either side. Kindly face, if not with piercing, knowing eyes. Walks towards you. Gets up and walks over towards you.
I'm just gonna kind of just...
I have come for the sword. That is all I want. You will give it to me.
I'm still not gonna respond. I'm just gonna stand there looking at him.
Also, your friend. We will maybe wait for him, since he will be turning the sword back to my love.
Can I do?
You can do whatever you like.
Can I do like an arcana check to see if this is actually him or anything?
Sure, go ahead.
Oh, 22.
Certainly freaking seems it.
Oh shit.
You've seen illusions. I mean, you've seen the illusions of Mirage Arcana out on the island, where do you remember the very forestry wasn't real? And I mean, if this is an illusion, it's a good one. Also, to the best of your understanding, an illusion. How would an illusion know some of the things? That's what you immediately say with your 14 intelligence?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Can I do detect evil and good? Where can I cast that? So,
Yeah, sure. Can you read that out to me?
You know if there's an aberration, fiend, fey, celestial, elemental, or undead within 30 feet of you.
This is absolutely a celestial standing before you. Enormous, standing maybe 14 feet high. You are barely up to above his knee as he stands looking down at you. He gets down on one knee, looks at you. I know this may be hard for you to fathom, but your God is not so godly, and your sword is mine. Now I would like for you to just hand it over. But if a fight, as you've always been a fighter, Denea, if it's a fight you want, then I can give you that. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna say, how are you even here? You don't seem to be very fake.
I have the ability to teleport, just as your friend does. And as a celestial, there is nothing preventing me from making this an apt place to come and meet you, especially since you have avoided me every opportunity since now. Here we are. It takes more than just the middle of a minor deity like Quan to keep a celestial of my considerable power from entering. So here we are. And you have until, let's say until the sun sets, for you to get used to this fact. I am here. I am here for the sword. You will give it to me. And that is that. Get used to these facts.
You're just one of the trials. You're not Glint. Well, yeah, you are. Yeah.
I don't know what makes you think you will even have a chance of passing the trials of the Ninja Mountain. You're just a soldier. You're just a soldier.
I'm a lot more than just a soldier. I'm a paladin of Palladius.
One that cannot even decide on an oath to take to her god. barely clinging on to paladinhood. I did you a favour in taking your powers. He goes and sits down on another huge piece of crumbled column. Sits down on it, spreading his wings out almost like he's stretching, but his arms don't stretch.
How far away is he from me?
I'd say I put him at about 30 feet away. He sits down. Unsheathes an enormous glowing sword, puts it in the ground. So are we waiting here until your friend gets here? Is that how this goes?
Well, I
Is
guess.
this the best that you have to say to me? That I'm a trial? That you really are a paladin? You know, in some parts of this world, you've already become legend. I don't think that's deserved. Now that I see the reality. Still just a girl. Just a girl. An angry little girl. What know you of justice?
It looks like Elwyn's here already. Look, and I point. And I point down the hill thing.
He looks off.
Okay, I'm gonna run down the path that way.
Like past him.
Up the path, yeah.
You go to run. Okay, great. Roll initiative, please.
Okay,
It's like Elwyn.
17.
Okay. Let me just change the music a little. A little.
I don't know what if you don't do what Tenday would do.
I am the nerd.
No. Oh shit.
Alright, you go to run past. What did you roll initiative, please?
17.
Okay, I got 22. So Glint gets to act first. With that,
Please
seeing
don't
you
kill my
suddenly
dragon.
make a dash for it, he's going to cast Blade Barrier directly across the path, expanding the entire length of the entire width, excuse me, of the path. Suddenly, this massive, you hear it first like a distant, and then as you're running in front of you, this enormous wall of spinning, whirring razors. Like it creates a little wind in your face, a gust of wind. Do you want to run through it or do you want to stop at it?
I'm gonna try and just run through it, directly through it.
Okay.
Please don't kill my character.
I'm not gonna kill my character. Wait, was that his turn?
Not completely, he's just using his action to cast the spell. Bear with me a second. Vertical wall of whirling razor-sharp blades made of magical energy. Make a straight wall up to 100 feet long, 20 feet high. So we're going to do 50 feet long, the width of the path at this point, 40 feet high, and 5 foot thick. Okay, you enter the wall's area for the first time. Make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay, good. 23.
20.
3.
Okay, bear with me a sec.
Looks like one that stupid carpet.
Yes.
Okay, spell save DC is 25, so unfortunately you fail.
I only take half, right, because of evasion.
Yeah. And also, can you read your armor of invulnerability to me?
If it's
please?
magical damage, it
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
fine. Doesn't work.
no, it just yeah.
Okay.
It's resistant to non magical damage.
And then I can become immune to non-magical.
Yeah.
34 damage halved to 17 points of slashing damage as you run straight into this blade barrier wall. Oh, it's real. And do you want to stay in it?
No, I'm gonna dash.
You're going to keep going through it.
Yeah, bonus action dash, and I'm just gonna.
Okay, bear with me because it's you used your movement to run, And he casts a blade barrier in front of you, so bam, so we'll pick up on the movement thing on your turn.
Okay.
Okay, he is going to... okay, that's his go. He casts that spell, Blade Barrier. It's your go. You are amidst these, all of them, this golden, just maelstrom of spinning razors. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna just bonus action dash, and I'm just gonna run.
Run through it, yeah?
Yeah. Keep running.
Okay, let me just see how this works. So it's 5 foot wide, thick, excuse me. So that's something. Okay, it's difficult terrain, so it takes 10 feet of your movement to get through it.
Mm-hmm.
And because it's now on your turn, make another dex save.
Okay, not good. 17.
Okay. 27, 32, 34. Another 17 points of slashing damage as you run through it. And then you take another 60 feet of movement on the other side. What's your movement as Tenday? 30?
30, yeah.
Oh, okay, so 20 feet and then 30, yeah, 50 feet, and you carry on running for 50 feet thereafter. And that's your bonus action dash. What's your action?
Action. I'm gonna do. What can I do? What can I do as today?
Your spell, yeah.
I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna lay on hands. And I'm gonna heal myself.
Using your paladin ability?
Yeah, I'm gonna heal myself 21 hit points.
21.
No, just 20, I think.
20?
Actually. Yeah.
Okay, great. So it's 5 hit points per level, right?
Yeah.
Great.
Okay.
So you can heal 95 basically. Wow.
I've got 75.
Okay, end of your turn. He's going to use Glenn's going to use a legendary action to do. Firstly, he's going to fly up. He can fly at 150, so incredibly quickly he swoops round to in front of you. Let's put this on the board so we have a sense of dimensions. In a little while I'll ask you what you would like to do. Not knowing that any of this is happening, of course. Oh, damn it! His thing is broken.
No!
There's a little bit of white tack just there somewhere. Could you get up? You'll have to get up to find it. There's a little splat of it somewhere. No, there's a little splodge of it somewhere there. Do you see it?
No.
Okay, I'll get it. Take a seat up. Okay. So, unimaginably quickly, they've got a flying speed of 150. He flies round to land in front of you. Let's put him, hang on, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Let's call that the width of the path. This line could be the blade barrier, or we'll say this is the blade barrier. So you've gone 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So we'll put you there, just for rough sake. And then for positioning, he lands 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. He lands here, in all his formidable size, and is going to use his blinding gaze. Please make a Constitution saving throw.
This guy is so annoying.
Okay. 4.
Okay, he lands before you and just goes, "Give me the sword!" And as he says this, his eyes light brighter and brighter and brighter and brighter until they sear the entire environment around you. and you are blinded.
Okay.
That's his legendary action. It's now his turn. He is going to.
I thought he used legendary action to fly.
No, that's just his movement on his go.
Wait, so it was my go and then he moved and then he did... He moved and then did his legendary action, but then...
Yeah.
But he can't do both, right?
No, he's done it, love. And now he's going to cast on you Flame Strike. Make a dexterity saving throw at disadvantage.
Bro. This guy. 17.
17. Unfortunately, that doesn't work. So, you still manage to use your roguish abilities to dive away as all around you comes radiant and literal fire everywhere. Suddenly the heat surrounding you and you dive off in any direction that you feel you can. You suffer. Okay, 4d6 fire damage. This will all be halved, so 5 points of fire damage.
Okay.
12 points of radiant, halved and then halved again, so 3 points of radiant damage from the flame strike.
So, okay.
All around you, you dive off and roll. You manage to avoid the worst of it.
Okay.
Meanwhile, are you just walking?
Yeah.
Okay, you'll miss out on this then. All right.
What? That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna send things to Naya.
Okay, what are you gonna say?
Hey. I mean no. Hey. How's it going? Let me know how far you get. I'm trying to catch up. Keep me updated.
Glenn is here and he wants his sword. Should we just give it to him? I mean, it's not even ours and he'll stop bothering us.
I can't say what to name. I can't send things again.
Yeah, but you know Danae. She's been your friend for all
But
these
she
years.
hasn't said this to him.
Okay.
I mean, it's your sword. I mean. Hang on. Glyn, are you sure it's not part of the trial? Just.
What are you saying?
Thinking. He doesn't know this. Oh.
Like
Okay.
what?
That's it.
Okay, I'll just...
Remember, you know everything that Danae has been through and all this games. That's
Yeah.
you. You know everything she's
Okay,
been
I will
through.
tell you what she was thinking last time she was in the Celestial Realm. She was planning on giving the sword back because Celeste said that she wanted to be with her love again. And she only wanted to give Celeste back because Celeste wanted to be with him. Not because he wanted to, because he's an asshole. That's because Celeste wanted, so she was planning on doing that.
Okay, I'm just gonna look at Celeste with
This
my
is in the middle of
blind
combat,
eyes.
so you're in the middle of a combat situation at the moment.
Is it my go?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm just gonna aim where I think he is and I'm just gonna yeet the sword at him.
You're going to draw the sword and just throw it at him.
Yeah.
Make an attack roll.
Okay, so
That's an outdated thing, by the way.
I don't understand what it is then.
You should have
because
been
didn't write
using.
it down.
It's in this one.
Just tell him the modifier. Just say plus whatever.
Everything's in here. I don't know what the
I rolled a...
Look there.
Okay. 26 to hit.
26. It hits.
Okay.
Point first.
What's the damage on this thing? Okay.
Roll D8 because you're throwing it.
Yep.
D8, sure. For 10. 10 damage.
Nice.
It will also do normal radiant.
Oh, normal radiant. 7. Normal radiant.
Okay, halved to 3. Okay. Anything else? Any other type of damage added to that, Charlotte?
No,
All right,
unless
great.
you did divine spine.
All right. You get the sword, and then like this, and it sticks a little bit into him, and then clunk, clunk, clatters to the floor.
And then I'm gonna
Make a saving throw against the blindness.
Constitution.
Yes.
17.
Okay, and you, after you throw the sword, your eyes, you've still got spots on your eyes, but you start to come around and you see it. As the flames lift away that have just burnt you, and he just stops and looks down at the sword.
I'm gonna just duck behind it like one of the granite block things. Are they still here on the path?
You can use your movement to get behind the block if you'd like to do that.
I'm just gonna get behind one and just stay there.
Okay. You see Clint fall to his knees. He shakes the ground. It's this sword, like to him, like a dagger in front of him on the floor, and he just looks at it, just stares at it. His golden eyes shining brightly, and he just kneels there looking at it. His hands in the dirt, his whole skin bright, white and shining, almost opalescent as you look upon him. His wings go up high behind him and almost seem to cloak, almost like a protection around the radius of the sword's light. And he shudders slightly as he looks down at it. Celeste. Celeste, I cannot touch you. Puts his hands around it. Come forth, my darling. Come forth, I will it. I would give all my power if you would just come forth. Nothing happens at his plea. Tenday, come out.
I'm gonna just stand up from behind the thing.
Remove the curse from her. I beg of you.
I don't think you can cast remove curse.
I've got it prepared. Okay, I'm just gonna cast remove curse.
You
on
come
it.
forward.
Yeah.
Okay. You come forward. You put your hands close, not touching, but close to the blade. All around you, this enormous, hulking, glowing figure. Its wings acting like almost a kind of like a domed-like hut around you as you utter the prayer to Palladius, the very god that bestowed the curse upon the sword. You now pray that he revoke it. What do you say? You two can figure it out together if you want to.
What should I say?
Okay, so you should say. Let me think. Okay, you think too. Palladius, hear me, I beg of you. I do not know why this sword was cursed, but through my eyes, it does not seem that she was worthy of it. I ask of you to remove this curse. Please.
Make a persuasion check. And roll high.
Okay. Persuasion. 21.
It feels like knocking on an empty door. On an empty door. With an empty building inside. That's what it feels like. It is quiet. Not just in this world with this unbreathing but very earnest, enormous angel around you, close to you. But also on the inside, the answer to your prayer seems unheard. And the sword remains.
Try again.
You must try again.
Why was the sword cursed in the first place?
I was forbidden. I was forbidden from loving a fiend. A bridge between heaven and the hells would not have been tolerated. That choice to make for myself was taken from me. Because my love was not from the heavens, or from Elysium, or from the golden fields of Mount Celestia. It was deemed unworthy.
I'm going to try again.
Alright, cross off the slot. What do you want to say?
Palladius, how is that justice? Forbidding someone to love who they love. Worthiness does not just follow those in the light. It can reach people from other places too. Please remove the sword. They do not deserve this separation. This is not justice. This is an injustice. To separate them.
Roll persuasion.
21 again.
Same again. Nothing.
I'm going to do it again.
Okay. She was beautiful, you know. You will see. I don't just mean beautiful to behold. I did not know there could be such beauty in such a place of pain. Okay, what are the words you can say this time?
Palladius, listen to me! As I trust you to bestow my powers to me, you must trust me and you must trust my judgment. And I believe that this curse should be removed, so please let me.
Roll persuasion.
20. I mean...
Wow. Sometimes the dice are cruel.
Yeah, must be my hand.
I'm going to do it again. I've used all my...
Both of you roll d20 for me, please.
Here you go. Oh wait, no, you can use that. use my dice.
8.
13.
13. Okay, good. There is a mote of possibility, and in this instance, Denia remains Denia. But you are Denia in this moment. You are here, and before you is Glint, and before you is the sword, and this enormous, risen paladin of old, who's been so much of a force for good, who took your powers through deception in order to show you, or maybe as an act of spite against your god, or maybe to show you the shortfallings of your god. You're not sure. You haven't asked him. But here he is before you, and lying in the dust of the path, the still glowing white sword that is Celeste. And you are here, and this is you. And your requests to remove the curse so far have not been heard. Are you doing it again? Is this the final slot?
Well, that was all my 3rd level, so I'm going to have to do 4th level.
Okay.
Had to punish the dice.
What would you like to say?
Palladius, listen to me. You must listen. I forgive Glint for what he's done. I want you to forgive him too. Please. Let me remove this curse. You stand for justice, right? Then stand for justice. Okay, I don't know what my modifier is.
16.
Careful.
Jeez. 16.
Okay, hang on. 29.
29?
Yeah.
What did you roll?
13.
The house isn't empty. You feel that there is somebody in and listening now. But still, the curse remains. But you feel you have the ear of a divinity of extraordinary power. And unlike most of your requests for magical aid, which are requests, now it's almost as if you are in some form of communion. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna reach out and I'm gonna pick up Celeste. I'm gonna touch Celeste. And I'm gonna say, my hand in this world is your hand. As you should enact justice, I will do as you command me to. But listen to my request. And trust my judgment. As I trust you. And I'm gonna cast remove curse again.
Alright, roll persuasion.
27.
If a god were ever considering something, then Palladius is considering this. But still his hand is stayed. You're not sure, you don't pick up emotion, you just pick up this rare moment where a god ponders a request of legendary status. What would you like to do?
I'm gonna cast Remove Curse again.
Okay, take off the slots. So this is the 5th time, the 6th time.
This is a 5th level spell slot.
How many slots have you got left?
One more try.
After this one?
Yeah.
What do you say?
I'm gonna just say it over and over again. They say you stand for justice, so stand for justice. They say you stand for justice, so stand for justice. I'm gonna just keep saying that.
You cast Remove Curse, roll Persuasion.
31.
31?
Yeah.
At some point as you're chanting, they say you stand for justice, stand for justice. Your voice becomes a whisper till it's almost inaudible. But then a deeper voice thrums and joins yours, a melodic voice, beautiful voice. A voice that spontaneously brings tears because you weren't even aware that it was possible for a whisper to be harmonized with, but this voice harmonizes with yours perfectly. And it is the voice of Glint, his harp-like voice now joining yours as you utter the request for the curse to be lifted. The sword shines bright in your hand, stunningly bright, searingly bright, and it heats up somewhat in your hand as well. But then, in a moment of total knowing, you know that the curse upon the sword is lifted. It retains the shape of a sword, looks like a sword, feels like Celeste, behaves in every way the manner in which you know Celeste. But it is still Celeste. It is still a sword. But there is no curse upon the sword. There is no divine curse upon it. Is it done? He puts forward his enormous hands to two. May I hold her? Thank you! She must be returned to her previous form. I'm so sorry. My anger and my passion clouded my judgment. I am so sorry.
I forgive you.
He lays it down like it's a bit of precious gold on the floor. Do you think that Elwyn could be of aid?
Yes.
Shall we wait for him? And Paladin of Palladius, one of his foremost servants and direct messengers, as the day turns darker, light a campfire. Not that either of them need it. And even though the image of it is almost preposterous, this enormous, giant, angelic being, and the shining, red-headed paladin sit cross-legged from each other. It is interesting that most silences when there are only two people feel awkward. This one does not. You sit there in quiet understanding of each other as the hours pass. Elwyn, somewhere in all of this, you are Elwyn. You've always been Elwyn. That never ended, but you're Elwyn. You're here. And as you hurry around the mountainside in a sincere bid to catch up to your friend, is there anything that you want to do in order to expedite your travel?
I can't. I'm just gonna avoid doing spells. I know what happened. I don't think they really work.
Make an intelligence check. Or Arcana, your choice.
21.
Okay. If you were to take the words of the tiger literally, it simply seems that anything that seems to, shall we say, cheat the path is punished with a restart.
That basically means you can't use anything that speeds you up. Like,
I don't have any spells that speed me up, so it doesn't.
Okay.
you just run.
Yeah.
You polymorph into something fast?
Oh, okay.
Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to tell you what to do there.
I'll
just
turn
saying.
into a draft horse.
A draft horse?
Yeah.
Alright, cool. Alright, you start to gallop, going at a much faster pace. It is some point early in the morning hours that you hear a distant galloping. And as night falls and the campfire persists, and the area is bathed in the glow of not only your celestial light, but the magnificent light of glint, around the corner comes a beautiful black horse with flowing white mane that gallops towards you and comes to a stand somewhere nearby and reverts back to your friend, Elwyn. Elwyn, you both roll d20, please. Just straight roll.
12.
12.
Huh, okay, cool. You retain as both of you, so you are Elwyn and you are Danae. And as you revert back to form, you see the most bonkers sight.
Bonkers!
And that is of Danae sat in seeming silence around a small campfire with a giant glowing angel seated nearby. Both of them looking relatively peaceful and calm, and they both look up and glance at you as you arrive on the scene.
Elwyn!
I got over as fast as I could.
We need your help.
You need to explain some stuff. I don't understand what's happening here.
I have removed the curse from Celeste.
Great.
We need your help, great wizard. Please.
Okay.
This is not Celeste's true form, as I think you are aware. She is a real creature with real form, with a soul. She soars and thinks and crafts and feels and has been stuck in the form of a sword. Can you imagine such torture? This has been her torture for millennia now. Please.
What is her original form?
You will see. do you have the arcane ability to more permanently transform a creature?
Like true polymorph or dispel magic? Which one?
Dispelling will not work. I have done and attempted that through other mortals for many years. But whatever your most powerful transmogrification spells are, I would appreciate it very much.
Okay, I go over to the sword.
If you don't have it prepared, you will have to take a long rest.
Please say I'm prepared. Always prepare all your night level spells.
It's prepared.
Okay.
Which one? True polymorph or shape change?
Shape change requires a lot of components, so
True polymorph.
Yeah, true polymorph.
Well, what's the difference?
I can't remember.
Well, read up, guys. This is important.
Oh, like yeah, I know what true polymorph is.
I'll find shape change.
Shape change is oh, I think in shape change you can alter your form throughout the spell, and then true polymorph. So
Here.
Oh, shape change is creature. And it's the same as the this is the one that's true polymorph, isn't it?
So I think throughout true polymorph you can change what you are, and then the other one is you can turn into an object. So true polymorph is the one. And
None of the components cost any money, so you can do it using your staff if you so
Yeah.
choose. Do you have true polymorph prepared?
yeah.
Would you like to do it?
Yes.
And you're going to concentrate for the duration
Mhm.
so that it becomes permanent.
Yes.
Object into creature. You can turn an object into any kind of creature as long as the creature's size is no larger than the object size and the creature's challenge rating is 9 or lower. Okay, he says, let me show you who she is. He puts his hand towards you. May I?
Okay.
Puts his hand on your head.
Toothless.
You get a flash of a white-skinned, elven-looking maiden. Perfectly milky white hair. Totally ivory skin. With horns on her head. And a slight maw where a normal nose and mouth would be, a slight maw instead, such as that of a hound or something like that, you know? Comes forward slightly. With an almost like a cat-like nose. A tail protrudes from her lower back into a perfect little point. And tiny wings.
What is she?
Leathery bat-like wings are folded on her back. Other than that, she has all the appearance of a very slight-looking elven maiden.
Have I heard or seen about this thing before?
Make a history check.
15. Okay, gonna.
But you get the image clearly. And it's almost like he's imparting a bit of his memory to you, and it is old. And you feel as you sense this, that you are seeing something that maybe this is a species that no longer exists. It is old.
I'm gonna go over to the sword, and I'm gonna cast True Polymorph on it, and I'm gonna turn it into that thing.
Okay. Make
That thing.
an Arcana check, please.
18. Wait, no, more than that. 21. Sorry.
21. Okay. You lay down and you start tracing out the runes and muttering the words, encompassing the sword. Bringing your other hand in, you put the staff down now and put it across your lap as you start to weave your hands into these extraordinary shapes. I don't think you've ever cast True Polymorph, have you?
Oh, I've cast it a lot of times.
True Polymorph?
Yeah.
I don't think you have.
I have. I've turned into an ancient black dragon.
He's just never
twice
focused
with
on it for the long, like really long,
Okay.
to make it permanent. He hasn't done that before.
So you'll need to concentrate for the full hour for it to become permanent. I'm going to say, for the sakes of narrative, that it takes an hour to cast it in this form. And where you are here on the thing, you're muttering, and for that hour, the two of you stay rooted to the spot, wondering what will occur. You have no image of what your sword looks like.
Have I not seen? I think I've seen like the outline of her once or something.
Well, perhaps, but not seen her in her
Yeah.
truest form. Clearly. The hour goes by, beads of sweat collect upon your white skin and roll down your head, and at no point are you able to move your hand away to wipe it, so this sheen of sweat forms on your...
I don't want to break your concentration.
No, at some points you do. You
Okay.
gently dab his head as he just continues to cast, until finally, after the hour has passed and you say the last few sealing words of the incantation, a gentle light starts to come from the sword that becomes brighter and brighter and brighter until you all have to avert your vision, and it expands. It fills an area roughly humanoid sized, and then the brightness diminishes somewhat, and there, huddled on the ground in the fetal position, tail wrapped around her, wings wrapped around her, like a new bird coming from a shell, like its wings have been there to protect itself. Head in, white hair matted to its body, and small white horns coming off, pointed white ears.
So cute.
Lies the body of Celeste. The light diminishes as she remains. Clint just stands up, looks down. This is a truly sacred moment, of which my faith will never be shaken. My love awaken. We are reunited. And at that, her small, delicate little eyes flutter and flicker open. So cold. So cold. She looks around like a newborn chick. Her delicate, feline type maw, licking her lips. I did not have a heart until now. And there doth be my first breath. I am not sharp. Nay, not sharp no more. She collapses into your arms like this, just collapses and starts to shudder in sobs.
I'm gonna take off my cloak and like wrap it around her.
Your red cloak?
Yes.
You wrap your blood red cloak around her perfectly white skin. Glint crouches down next to you and just puts a hand on her glowing hand. After many minutes pass, she looks up at you, tear-streaked, glittering tear-streaked face, and then looks up into Glint's face. I know you. If I were a sword for 100 more millennia, I would know you. And he's just nodding, and glittering, shining tears fall from his face onto you and onto the ground around. He puts a hand on your back, looks to you and says, "Thank you. Truly, thank you." Many hours pass with not much being said. At which point, Celeste manages to be sitting up. She takes the cloak off of her shoulders, seemingly lacking any modesty about her nakedness as she just sits there. And you notice that there are portions of her body that seem to be almost covered in a uniquely fine fur, short and impossibly soft, like those cushions you sometimes see at the shops, that are made with it's not natural fur, like the fake fur. It's almost like you almost can't feel it, but it's very dense and packed, and it seems to be around most of her torso. You notice her feet have long, curled talons on the ends of them. The same with her fingers. There is a sense of the elven about her, the feline, and also with your paladin senses, this is a fiend. Where are we? Where are we? How did we come to be here?
We're on the Ninja Mountain in Garata. How much do you remember?
The sword does not think as I think now. The sword thinks differently. It's so confusing. Everything is in straight lines. Everything is either cut or uncut. It will take some time for me to remember how to live as I was again. Of course it will, my love. Come. Let us stay upon the prime material for a while. Here where the wind blows and everything is real. Yes. Yes. She looks up at him and reaches up at him with her thin arms, and he collects her like a precious, like young baby, collects her into his arms and hugs her close to him. I think it is time that I go. I thank you. Beyond what I ever thought was possible, I thank you. I do not know. I should know, but I do not know how you beseeched Palladius to hear you. But I hear him, and he calls to me. And we must go, for certain promises must be made. I will take the evening here on the prime material with my love. And then, my darling, we must return to Mount Celestia and answer for certain things. Farewell, heroes, for today you freed us all. Two. Farewell. And with that, a gate opens nearby from celestial essence, and he steps through, only for it to close. And the rest of the night, and what I imagine ends up being a long rest, comes to you both, here on the side of the Ninja Mountain. Well, that's where we're going to leave it for today. Thanks for watching, everybody. We hope you enjoyed the show, and we will see you again next time as the Trials of the Ninja Mountain